Listen, we just need a whole jam session. Skip all of that. I'm just about to, we need to have a
That's it.
whole, we just
Skip
need to have a
everything.
whole
Just do the
Monday
jam
night
session. That's
just
it.
for jams. Cause I'm
We
like,
really do.
what?
We really do. You're
What?
absolutely right. We really do.
Mhm.
What's up, people? People, so good to see
Y'all,
y'all today.
look, we got the business today.
Yes, we do.
Man,
Yes,
we got to
we
look. I
do.
got 3 different color pens.
You know what? You a mess. You a whole mess, Joy.
We got the
So
business today.
the face that you guys see right down there is Miss Berry Dynamic. She is joining us on our Monday Night Live today. So Miss Berry Dynamic, let's go ahead and get you. You could go ahead and unmute
I
your
knew
microphone
Miss Berry.
and say hello to the people. And hey,
Hi,
there
peace
she
and
is.
blessings to everyone. How's it going?
Whew, so
It's
excited.
magnificent.
Look,
Yes. Listen, Joy, take a note. Take some notes. That's what you need to
look,
do.
I got
Just take
different
some
colors.
notes.
This look.
So yeah, Barry Dynamic is joining us today. She is a specialist in publicity and brand management and supercharging your business to take it to the next level. And so we will, give a few moments, Barry, for you to tell us a little bit about yourself and about your company, and then we gonna take
Dive
off
into
because
it
you
straight
got
right there.
plenty to share. Like, yeah,
Yes.
this is. Listen,
I'm
I'm
starting with
ready.
blue.
I ain't even got no notes. I'm gonna just watch the replay because
I
it
don't
ain't
have
worth
look.
taking
I got
notes.
look. Got to start with blue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so very much for having me this evening. I'm so excited for tonight's mastermind. It's very dynamic. I am a force that stimulates change. I'm a two-time congressional awarded publicist based out of Houston, Texas, where we specialize in brand management, strategic partnerships, and public relations. And so it's been a dynamic 3.5 years, and we've just been really glad to help with the brand development of companies within finance, technology, entertainment, nonprofit education, you name it.
Awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I look.
Unmute.
I'm gonna be in Houston in a
Oh,
minute.
you
I'm
like you
just
want to just
look. I
how we gonna do this?
no. Well, I
So,
know first and foremost, I know a lot of our listeners and a lot of our watchers need to know the difference between PR and publicists, public relations and publicists, because they don't necessarily know who they are looking for at whichever particular point in time in their journey. A lot of people
Yes.
misconstrue, public relations as the person that's going to put me in a magazine or put me in this space, or they think publicist is, oh, they're just doing copywriting for me. So help us understand exactly what it is that public relations is about, what we should expect from public relations, and that kind of stuff. Let's start there.
awesome. So, yes. So, to answer your question, public relations is the role of what a publicist does. So, public relations is practically building the gap between the public and public. So, when I tell people, when I'm a publicist, really my job is more so all inclusive when it comes to brand management, curating your story ideas, creating your article write-ups, your press distributions, ensuring that you receive interviews on media outlets, article placements with magazines and newspapers, ensuring that you have event placements, red carpet events, speaking opportunities. It's really everything wrapped up into one. We're responsible for how your brand appears to the public and the relationship that you're building with business organizations, community outreach, and of course, other individuals within your network.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of work. That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
why
lot of masterminding. Yes, it's a lot of masterminding. Honestly, I enjoy taking people who are innovators, trailblazers, and influencers, people that really have a message and want to be a force that stimulates change within their network, within their market. And so it's like Tetris to me. I take people through the 9 essentials that it takes to build a dynamic brand, and we walk them through, is your website, put together? What's the content on your website? Do you have the right logo that attracts the image that you're wanting to put out into the public? Does your logo reflect who you are, and is it able to properly communicate to the public how it reflects the business and the brand and the message of who you are overall? I even in my book I talk about breaking barriers to branding, and I break down the 9 essentials. So those are the first 2 I listed. I talk about color theory, the importance of how colors influence how people feel about your brand. And so you have orange, for example, that's an underutilized color that people sometimes overlook. So people don't know that orange is the color of adventures, inspiration. It sparks new ideas. Gold is the color of wealth. It sparks, the yes, it gets the deals done. So you walk into a room and you see a lot of yellows, you're like, oh my gosh, wow. You're like, it's just a certain aura. So I tell people, when you're creating your logos, think about the colors that you're putting into your logo and how that's going to make your audience feel. We talk about, of course, your press distribution. Press and media placements are 2 different things. So your press distributions is the story that we're putting out into the public. Your article placements are really what's the story that we're curating about you. So storytelling is really important. I break down the difference between public relations and advertising. A lot of people, they think that advertising and public relations or marketing are all the same, when really there are different names.
Mm-hmm.
They all intertwine, and they all help build on top of one another. So we talk about press distribution, media placements, of course, your social media campaigns. How are you appealing to the public? A lot of people, they focus just on website and they forget about the relationship building that social media allows us to have. And when it comes to social media, breaking down the difference between how your message is supposed to be orchestrated on each of those media platforms. So when we look at social media, let's break down Facebook, LinkedIn, so Instagram, and Twitter. I tell my clients that Facebook is where you're able to be very personal. It's a form of storytelling. You can write out a nice article and have all these different pictures and, really curate conversation using Facebook. Whereas Instagram is more so of your visuals. People are able to essentially connect with the photos that you post. And of course, your captions are what captures people's attention, and, just more so like the swag site. And then of course you have your Twitter, which really sparks innovation. It's allowing to, it allows you to connect with, influencers and media outlets all over the world. And then your LinkedIn is just your professional realm. So I really just break down when I'm working with the client and we're building their brand. It's really walking them through each of those steps successfully, so that when they're ready to actually launch, their whole foundation is laid for them. And then now you're able to have that revolving domino effect of storytelling and interviews and article placements.
She got rolling, didn't she?
Didn't she? I was
Rolling,
like,
didn't
wait a minute, I can't write fast enough. Look, I got to rewatch. Look, you can tell that's passion. That's passion, knowledge, and the know-how. When a person can just start, be like, and you just sit back, say, "Hello, my name is," and then you just let them go. Yeah, this her Monday night. This is Mary's Monday Night Live. So,
and we could have listened. We could have both done one of these. We could have just been like, "All right,
yeah,
so
all right, you go ahead. You got it, Mary.
Have at it." Yeah. So one of the things that we talk about at Ione and Avia all the time. You are absolutely right, Gina. This girl knows her stuff. That's why we brought it. One of the things we talk about at Ione and Avia all the time is messaging. And we try to convey to our clients how important their messaging is and how important it is that their messaging matches their brand and their business personality. Talk to us a little bit about how you incorporate, messaging and business personality in with publicity and making sure that message gets distributed properly, because we have people that work on their messaging, you know what I'm saying? But then there's no distribution. They just sit there with it, you know? So kind of talk to us a little bit about how that whole process works with you.
So I tell people that your business and your brand are two different things. A lot of times people try to separate who they are themselves to their business versus realizing that your brand is just the personality of your business, whereas your business is the service that you offer to individuals. So I tell my clients all the time, don't focus on being so formal and exact. Like, people do business with who they like, who they connect with, who they're relatable to. And so when you're looking
we are not
Oh,
gonna
no.
No, no,
Oh,
no.
no.
I'm sorry, I'm yelling.
There she is. Okay.
Okay, look.
She so was.
I was upset. Hold on, let me just mute. So
What
Are you there?
happened?
No, you froze for a little while. So you were talking about the difference between the brand and the business.
Oh, okay. Yes. So pretty much, like I was saying, that people, they try to separate, they try to combine the brand and the business together, not realizing the two are separate. It's not your business. The business are the services that you provide to your clients, whereas your brand is the personality that curates and closes the deal. So like you said, it's your overall messaging, it's your dialect, it's the way that you converse with people, it's the personality, the energy that you give off, and not only communication, but nonverbal communication as well. So when I'm telling my clients that, hey, we're going to do brand development, it's not just, oh, let's make sure that your services are neat and, tight and everything is great, but it's more so getting that client to get outside of their element, having them to be comfortable with being vulnerable with the public. Because when you start getting on social media and interviews, like, this is people getting into your life, you're sharing who you are with the world. And so it's so important to go through the proper training and speaking topics and talking, all these things that help our clients be comfortable with just opening up about who they are. And not only just that, but referencing certain situations or stories that have happened to them, to where when they're explaining it to someone, it makes that other person on the other side like, I never thought of it like that. Oh man, this happened to me as well too. So I always tell people that your brand is just your identity. It's who you are. It's your personality. The business is just what you offer to clients after the deal gets done.
So I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and they were talking about different ways to maximize PR to a business advantage, things such as utilizing another's market share per se. Mm-hmm. So for instance, Stefan is he's done TED Talks, he's done other commentary in other Facebook groups and things of that nature. Help our viewership understand the validity and the importance and why being in other platforms or utilizing other people's market share helps them in their publicity and becoming known, and help supercharge their business from just talking to their own network per se. Like we here on Monday Night Live, we only reach so many people.
Right. We talk to our own bubble.
We talk to our own folks. So when Stefan is out talking to other people in their space, then we are gaining notoriety and being noticed in that market share as well. So a lot of people need to understand the value of that. So what do you think about those spaces? I think she froze again.
You still there, Barry?
Did we lose her?
Man, I think we did lose her. I think she froze
Houston. I will be in Houston, and I will figure out what's going on with Houston's Wi-Fi.
Houston's Wi-Fi and internet service.
Who they got down there? They don't have Comcast. They gotta have. I don't know if they have Comcast or not.
So we're gonna see if we can get her back in.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can get her back in. But look,
I'm excited about this one.
I'm excited too. And I think she touched on some great aspects. You know, one of the things that I think a lot of people fail to understand sometimes is one of the things she talked about, the difference between your brand and your business. You know, your business is the products you sell, the service that you give, all of that kind of stuff. And your brand is the personality behind that. Your brand, like she said, is the thing that gets people to say yes. Your brand is what causes people to know, like, and trust you. And I think sometimes we do our business a disservice by not giving our brand enough attention and focusing solely on the business aspect. You know what I'm saying? You're right,
What,
Gina. Couldn't
I know
handle
the
it.
internet,
Couldn't
the
handle it.
internet. Well, but
You and
you
I
know,
talk to people about it all the time when
we
we
do.
ask people like, well, what do you do? And they're like, well, I'm the senior vice president of blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's your business. You know, they get into the long drawn out, you know, paragraph of the services that they provide to the 18 trillion different customer segments of, but they give us no brand, you know?
And but you know, I have to be careful in our branding because, you know, just like we were talking about rings of relationship, there are certain people that will get my ratchetry that might not be a great disclaimer for our brand. So it's
Yeah, we both have to be careful of that because
yeah,
sometimes
it's
I will tell
important.
people about themselves and be like, oh, that wasn't Ione and Avia,
That
that was
wasn't only
Stefan.
ifish, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and so knowing when you're branding, that's why I always am so impressed with also image consultants, because the branding aspect and the proper image that I'm displaying or the image that I would like to have displayed, it is not that I am being false or not true to myself. It is that I am presenting the most percentage of myself that is most advantageous to the brand that I would like to have exposed.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, I'm flipping back and forth between, do I want to keep the red hair or do I want to go back to the silver and gray? Because
Listen, the silver
it's
and gray was
all,
working though.
I'm gonna
Silver and
say
gray was working. I ain't gonna lie, but I
it's
love
all
the red.
about brand,
Man,
but
we ain't gonna talk
I
about
have
your
to
hair
think
right now.
about the brand as
You're
well,
right.
you know, and I drive a red car. The hair matches the car. So all of that is in the branding, although we don't have this color in Ione and Avia.
We don't. And
It's
you
in the
are a
prism
different
though.
person. You are
It
a
is in the
different
prism.
person in the red than you are in the silver.
Aren't
That
I?
has been me as well. So sometimes whenever I have long blonde hair, I be like, "Oh, who is she?" Like it's a
Oh,
whole different person that comes out. I say, you know what?
Uh-huh.
I know. I got to keep this curly hair because she's modest, she's humble. But the straight hair, oh baby, she cuts up, but she gets the job done.
and so that's what you were talking about the personality of a business, and especially how that personality, how you need as a publicist and in the PR world, needs businesses to understand their brand, meaning their personality, in order to be able to connect with their perfect customer, or
Right.
to be, and it helps them weed out the people or the clients or the customers that are not their perfect customer. If somebody wants me to be straight laced and real prim and proper, and you know, always speak in the proper English language, then that's gonna put me in like a corset, and I won't feel like I can breathe
Mm-hmm.
while I'm doing business with them. And dependent upon, you know, Stefan might tell me, Joy, if it's a $2 million deal, girl, you better go lace up and just
Heck
hold
yeah.
your
You better
breath.
tighten that corset, girl. You better
Right,
tighten it
right.
up.
Better
Don't
suck
play
it
no games with
And
in.
me.
hold your breath.
Listen, like this.
Yeah,
You better walk around
exactly.
like this.
But if it's a $500 deal,
Mm-mm.
I'm not gonna suffocate myself
Nah.
Right.
for that. And I just think it's very important to know your personality and know your brand, so that and craft it and develop it. It's just like growing. You know, I knew that I wanted to do this when I was very young, but I did not know how. So I had to spend the years in crafting what I do, crafting myself in the space of what I do, so that that personality could shine. You know, I'm a happy warrior. I am true to my name. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that shines through, I think, in Ione and Avia as well. But before we lost you for a brief moment, I was asking, can you kind of help the viewership, we're almost out of time actually, but can you kind of help the viewership identify maybe 4 or 5 points that are extremely important to their public relation?
Yes. So we talked about earlier about the larger, like how you said that Stefan was on TED Talks, just market share. My favorite word in this market is leverage. It's all about leverage. I currently have a client who was assaulted at Whole Foods, and literally a few days prior, the mayor had invited them out to close out, to launch a $100 million fund that goes towards Black and Brown entrepreneurs. And literally, since this Whole Foods incident, now the whole dynamic has changed of, community leader. Community leader receives an apology from Whole Foods. And now they have to apologize to him. And now we've launched this whole campaign of Blackout Newark and Black Dads Matter. And all because of one incident, now he gets to attach his name to Whole Foods. Now in Whole Foods, when you Google that, now his name will pop up attached to it. So it's all about leveraging and finding how to plug yourself into topics that are trending. We have, during the elections, a lot of people, stress has been increased and anxiety has increased. During the pandemic, suicide prevention rates have increased. And so now it's been a sense of working with clients who are in the mental health space, who can leverage and, give quotes as the expert within their field, leveraging what's trending in the media and what the conversations are already being had on a larger scale. So I tell people all the time, find what's important and how influencers and major institutions are having these conversations and trending, and then find ways to plug yourself into that same conversation on a local level. That's the easiest way to get local press within your community. Finding different organizations to attach yourself to, whether it's through donations or speaking on certain platforms. It's just all about leveraging.
Yeah, people don't realize how intentional some things are really, really, really are.
Calculated.
Yes, a lot of people did not understand why I was walking around giving away gifts at the Orlando Magic games for no reason. So they thought, but in that space of doing it game after game after game after game, finally it became who is she? And that got us into the space of being able to work with the Orlando Magic and do different things with players on the Orlando Magic team. But it was something that I thoroughly enjoy, basketball. I used to play basketball. Number two, it was something that I recognized while I was at the game of the children sitting in certain sections being disappointed game after game because they didn't get the swag for free, because the Magic was gearing the swag up into the nosebleeds because they want those people to keep coming. But the little kids sitting down in the expensive section didn't understand, they're kids. So seeing that disappointment and not wanting a child to walk away from a basketball game, something that I love, with some negative experience with that. So it wasn't that I was false. It wasn't that I was doing something just because. It was something I matched all of the things that I love and intentionally did something knowing that it was going to bring about different results.
Right.
So when we're talking to you all out there in, I was about to say TV land, we're not on TV, Facebook land. When we're talking to you all out there in Facebook land and we tell you about being intentional, or we tell you about how your public relations matter, we're not asking you to craft a whole person that's not you.
Right. And
that's more important than anything. Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
If I can share a story, one of the clients that I worked with before in the past, they were trying to transition from working within a Christian religious, platform or faith-based, I guess, to be the proper terminology. They were trying to transition.
Get your butt back over here, Joy.
They wanted to transition from being a faith-based strategist and transition into more so just delivering the products in their own unique way. And mind you, this person has energy, they rap, just very, very creative. And when I would capture them in their element, and I'd be like, oh, look at you. They'd be like, no, my faith-based fans, they're not gonna like that. I was like, well, which one are we doing? Are we doing faith-based or are we doing you? And
exactly.
I think it became very tough for that person to accept that this is who they are in this current time and not focus their content based off of what she thinks, people want to hear, So I tell my clients all the time that before we focus on putting you out into the public, let's go through a client need analysis. Let's really outline what your personality is. What is your mission? What is your morality? Where do you stand on different topics? It's so important to accept your individuality. And once you accept your individuality, then your brand will thrive naturally and organically because you're being who you are.
Shanda, you in the book. You in the book. Shanda.
Right.
Look, I ain't got no fans. I ain't got no fans.
It's really about people just being who they are. And then once they realize, like, oh, you are a dope person. Like, now what is it that you do again?
Right. It's one of the things.
It's
one of the things we try to express to our clients all the time is that people want to purchase from you. They can get the service anywhere. They can get the product anywhere. There's nothing that you are offering unless your name is Steve Jobs that has not been offered before. And even what Steve Jobs' company is offering right now is really just a bite off of what other companies are doing right now,
And he made it better,
Exactly.
It was all about his brand appeal. His image, his message, his story, it all works hand in hand.
Yeah. And it's so important that before we get to the place of publicizing ourselves, that we really take time to make sure we know who the ourselves is that we're going to publicize. You know what I'm saying? And knowing, and we say it all the time, Joy says it all the time. Wait, Joy's over there. Joy says it all the time. She says all the time, your business is a representation of yourself. We say your business is your personhood, right? And you have to be okay and embrace and even be comfortable with your own personhood in your business so that your business can shine. Because the moment you start allowing your business to shine something that's not authentic, is the moment that people will start to shy away from you. And they won't want to purchase from you. They won't want your services. They won't want any of those things. So
look, it's a relationship, just like any relationship. You cannot stay in a relationship being, I am this person today, and 3 months from now, I'm somebody totally different.
Wait a minute. Who's saying that?
Look,
hold on.
No. I am true to myself in my Gemini. So everybody knows that she is this person and not I'm this person today and somebody else tomorrow. She's this person and this person and this person.
Right.
And today and person. Tomorrow. Today
all
and
of those
tomorrow.
people always reside in her, and it all depends on how you are responding to her of which one you get. So everybody knows that about Ioni and Avia too. So if it is the small business that is not prepared to actually move forward, they know they're going to get the Ioni and Avia that's got a heavy foot that might land in their back or backside. If they are a business person that is trying to be socially conscious and socially responsible, then they're going to get the side that's the mothering and the great job.
But they have to identify who their audience is. Don't try to attract an audience that is not within your market. When you naturally are who you are and you've identified who your target market is. So say, for instance, when I introduced myself, I said that my brand development specializes within finance, technology, education, nonprofit. So right then and there, okay, I'm in the business realm. When I'm in entertainment, then entertainment has its own conversation. So I will always, and yes, Corey, just to say yes, we help entrepreneurs find their voice, because a lot of times everybody has a great idea. They just don't know how to get it out into the public. They don't know.
Say that. We have met too many people who want to reside on the fact that they have an idea. Right. And I've told, especially over the last couple of months, I've told so many people, they're like, I got this idea. I've got this, I've got this, that. And I'm like, but everybody's got an idea. Everybody came up with some invention that they saw on TV 6 months before they saw it on TV. It's not about having the idea. It's about, do you have the discipline, the commitment, and the determination? Get your butt back over here to follow through with the idea in order to see it through fruition and to be able to publicize it. Right. If you don't have those 3 items to be able to publicize it, the idea is just it's a flash in the pan. But I wanted to ask you, I know you have 9 necessities for a dynamic brand, and I'm not going to ask you to give us all 9 of them, but if you can give us a couple of them so that people can then go and buy the book that has all 9 of them in it. But yeah, give us a couple of those necessities for a dynamic brand that you tout to your folks.
Yes. So it will be your design, which is your logo. Your packaging is your portfolio, your electronic press kit, your web design. Okay. Number 3. Okay, so let me say.
She said EPK. Wait a minute. I'm about to just have heaven right there.
Joy about to catch the whole Holy Ghost. She done caught the whole Holy Ghost.
Tears about to
off
come
the electronic press kit. Yes.
Yes, so your first one is your design, which is your logo. Number 2 is your packaging. So an electronic press kit is essentially a portfolio. A lot of people can either have a press kit or just a regular media kit. A press kit has an article announcement of, what's new, what is the company introducing. And then, of course, we lay out, your different photos, your accolades, your mission. It's just a full portfolio on who your business or what your brand is about. Number 4 is your public relations, which is your story. What is your story angle? I tell people all the time, do not present yourself in an advertorial way. People want to connect.
Hold on. Time out. You got to say that again. Yes. One more time for the people in the back, because there's people in the back that didn't catch that one. You got to say that again for the people in the back.
Yes. Oftentimes, I find this very common. Hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm selling X, Y, and Z. You can visit my site at X, Y, and Z, and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, okay.
Right. Yeah. That's the answer. Okay. Listen, it reminds me of, so everybody
present yourself in a
advertorial way.
That's what we need to say again. You have to type that. I can't type, Stefan. I can't type.
It reminds me of the movie Friday, when the mom was talking to the woman across the street, Miss Parker, and she was like, I'll talk to you later, girl. And she's like, okay. That's the kind of okay that I hear when people are like, my name is John and I do XYZ and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. That's exactly how it comes across. Thanks for giving me no reason to care about you whatsoever.
Or even people that, you add on Facebook and they're like, hi, here, I can help you do this. Oh, okay. Yeah, no. So public relations, what is your angle? What's your story? Find something that's going on that's trending and you plug yourself into that. So that's number 4, your story.
Can I get it one more time out? Because I honestly and truthfully believe that too many people jump into trying to publicize themselves and their businesses with no story. They have no story. They have nothing about them that they have decided to tell is interesting or unique or intriguing or anything like that. They just want to, I sell widgets, so buy my widget. I see this with real estate people all the time. I'm a real estate person. I sell houses, so you should buy houses from me. And they have nothing behind them of substance to make me want to choose them as my real estate agent. I want to take a moment and just kind of dig into that space. How can we how can we find ourselves, our story? How can we dig into that space to really find a story that resonates for us and with us?
So I'll share my story. Very Dynamic was birthed out of the struggle. I graduated, from college with a bachelor's in communications. I was working in the public relations department at HEB, and when I got my degree, I just knew that I was going to move up in leadership and run everything, and just really bring forth all the qualifications and skills that I had. And when I went into my interview, I made it into the introduction program. But when it came to the first round of interviews, they told me no. And the reason why they told me no is because they said I was way too positive. And I said, well, how could I be too positive? But yet I have all the qualifications that you're looking for. I've been with the company 8 years. I couldn't understand it. And so in that interview, she was like, but it's okay. You can just come back. She said, everybody comes back and they don't get it on the first. I said, oh, no, not me. And she's like, well, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going with my plan B. And she was like, and what's that? I said, I'm going to launch my company. And she looked at me with the illest look, and she just couldn't believe. But I walked out, wiped my eyes. I was like, okay, Lord, I'm gonna need you to make a way. And when I walked out of that building, I talked to management. They said, hey, if you're gonna start this business, you can't do both. You can't work for us and have your own business. So you're gonna have to choose. And I just found myself, my back up against the wall. And finally, I put on an amazing kids event. Hundreds of kids came out, and once it was done, they patted me on my back, congratulated me, and I said, okay, I'm ready to take my leave of absence now. And they could not believe that I was leaving after doing such an amazing job for them. And I had no idea that Hurricane Harvey was going to be hitting in the next 2 days. So I'm trying to figure out why everybody is panicking and buying stuff. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm leaving, putting my 2 weeks notice. And the storm hits. I grabbed my granny. I have her staying with me, and literally, I'm closing deals. I'm finding ways to make it work. Everybody is panicking and they're losing their homes. They're losing themselves. And I was just like, okay, God, you told me to do this. Make a way for me. And literally, that's exactly how Very Dynamic Agency was birthed. It was literally birthed out of the storm, out of Hurricane Harvey.
Wow. That story right there. Wow. It was birthed out of the storm.
That's
for
it.
real. That's it right there. Oh my God.
Right there.
That's
it was birthed out of the storm.
Hey dog, I'm gonna tell you, bro. Hold on. I know you ain't no dog and you ain't no bruh, but dog, bruh. That hook right there, boy. That hook was it. Birth out of the storm for real. That's what's up. And that is the part
with that. We did an event on Hurricane Harvey called Peace After the Storm.
Wow.
Where we were actually doing donations for people that had lost their property in the flood and all of that other good stuff. So yes.
Wow. And it's so amazing because I just remember my granny saying, well, what you gonna do, Ciara? Like, how you gonna do this? I'm like, Granny, go in there, because she's watching the news, panic. I'm like, Granny, just go in there. I close the door and I'm just working. I'm on calls. I'm calling people. I'm connecting with people on Instagram. I'm looking up other publicists, other people. Like, I was just connecting the dots. So I say that to say, all the other entrepreneurs that are out there listening, think about your aha moment. Think about when it all came to you, or that moment you were like, okay, I'm taking that leap of faith. And then that's how you connect with people. Because now when people hear your story, they're going to say, oh, this person is a survivor. This person doesn't give up. This person makes a way. This person finds a way out of no way, and that's going to translate.
Sit still. You sit still. Don't you go nowhere. No, I'm yelling at Joy. Sorry, I'm yelling at Joy. I'm always yelling at Joy.
That's going to translate into how people feel the type of business that you're going to do for them as well. They'll feel that, oh, this person goes out of the way for themselves, or this is their story. I want that same feeling, that same story. So
So real quick, Corey has a question for us. He says, should beginners start with branding or marketing? And then I'm guessing his second question is there a best practice for service versus product-based businesses? So we'll start with, should businesses start with branding or marketing? We'll start there.
Businesses should start with branding first.
Absolutely,
So
100%.
branding is, and we didn't finish up the 9 essentials of the brand strategy.
But we only needed to give 3 so they can go buy the book. We want them to go buy the book. Don't tell them all of them. Go buy the book.
The book is going to really break down the meat, in which the book is actually on August 24th. That's our anniversary date. That's Kobe's day. That's the day that was stamped on the LLC. So literally the book is called Breaking Barriers to Branding. And when I say breaking barriers, it's on all elements. So you can get the 9 essentials. Media placements will be number 5, but you want to start with branding first because you want to build the foundation of who you are, and that means getting your design, getting your packaging, getting your web design and your development, understanding what your story angle is going to be through public relations, then securing your media placement, which is the introduction of your company. Having your visual marketing. Once you complete those first 5, then 6 is where your visual marketing comes in. Then that's when you can start, coming with these different ideas. And of course, if you want to do advertising with, different influencers or commercials with television stations or just different Facebook ads, whatever it is that you want, whatever you want your message to be, that's when you introduce the visual marketing to that aspect. And then for your second question, he said, is there a certain way?
What's the difference?
Right. The question was
best
practice for service versus product-based businesses.
The best practice for service is lifestyle. It's showing the results. It's showing the testimonies. It's showing the process. I talk about breadcrumbs in my book. People don't want to just see the finish, the service that you're offering. They want to see okay, what is this service going to do for me? How did it impact people's lives? They want to hear the story behind the creation of what you're offering, such as my story that I just told of Very Dynamic Agency. And when it comes to products, then you want to give behind the scenes of the development of that product. So where did the inspiration of this product come from? Do you have a protege that you can show, a prototype that you can show of this product? Can we do some in-person demonstrations or virtual demonstrations? Have a 3D experience leveraging this product and showing it in the hands of your specific target market, what is the response to your product? It's so important that people see other people enjoying what you have created. And when we're looking at the difference between service and products work well when you leverage influencer marketing, whereas services work best when you're leveraging the success of the services that you have offered and attaching your services towards people that you've worked with.
So so services work best in testimonial space, whereas products work best in influencer space. That's awesome stuff. So I have one more.
Quiet because she was preaching, and I'm just gonna stay quiet.
Now I can run my mouth, y'all. I love running my mouth. So.
That's all right. We appreciate it. That's what we brought you in here for. So I wanted to. So real quick before we wrap up. So for someone, if you can give us a couple of different phases, right? So what is your main suggestion for the person who's just starting out? What is your main suggestion for the person who's decided to kind of restructure? Or what is your main suggestion for the person who's experiencing rapid growth? So we'll start with the person who's just starting out, like somebody who's just starting out. They've kind of got a concept of their brand and they're looking to move into the publicity space. What is kind of your main suggestion for them? And then we'll tackle the other 2 if this one's not as dope as everything else you've said so far.
So if they're just starting out, then they want to create, just be very creative with their thinking and their writing skills. They want to create a omnipresence of their brand, both online and offline. So
Joy gonna fall out. She gonna fall out. Say that again. They want to create an omnipresence of their brand.
Yes.
So what do you mean when you say that?
It's a dual presence of both online and in present. So when Joy was speaking of how she was at the different games and passing out,
Mm-hmm.
bags, that's an in-person, presence that you're
Right.
securing. Like, you're showing your brand active. And then online is people talking about your brand.
Right. Right.
You have the difference between earned media and bought media. So
Mm-hmm.
essentially, your earned media is showing you working in the community. Your paid media is your placements with influencers, with blog sites and all these different outlets. So if you're just starting out, you want to customize designs to just achieve specific outcomes and abilities to quantify your results. And so I tell people all the time, you're starting out, you want to get a consultation. You want to secure press distribution and press coverage. And then, of course, developing your packages, such as your portfolios or your press kits, which really just outlines the milestones and the recognitions, your photos, your bios, your fact sheets, just everything that just outlines who you are. Because essentially, when you're approaching the media placement world, they need to see how is your influence going to leverage your followers onto their platform so that it increases their ratings. You can have
Right.
a
Right.
great product, you can have a great, whatever the case, but if you haven't built that followership, that excitement, that momentum for your own brand, the media knows that you're not going to be able to bring anything to their platform because you haven't done it for yourself. Does that make sense?
It sure does.
So, and then the second phase, what was the second phase you mentioned?
So
The
for
second
people
one was rapid growth.
rapid growth.
Rapid growth. So if they're experiencing rapid growth, then I would, what was the third phase?
The third phase was reorganization, so restructure.
Okay, so the second one should be the restructure. So if you're starting off, you're restructuring, and then you have rapid growth. So restructuring, I will focus on strategic partnerships. So this is basically like innovation at its finest. You want to integrate, marketing communications to establish those rich business contacts. So
Oh, say that word again. Rich business contacts.
So if you're reorganizing yourself, and that means that you're trying to find your market. That means the market that you was in wasn't working for you. So now you have to try a new approach. And so when you're trying a new approach, that means you're trying to establish new relationships with people. So I tell them that you benefit, from this approach because you're focusing on revenue-driven results while managing all of your media and public relations, the publicity, your branding, and all of your visible campaigns. So the advice that I will offer to people is to just create a strategic experience. Be intentional, as you stated. Really outline insightful objectives from your point of view. And then, of course, create brand mechanisms and strategies to increase career opportunities that's going to be built through awareness. So community outreach is going to be really big for you in this time frame. And when I say community
y'all gonna have to watch the replay. Y'all gonna have to watch the replay. Y'all gonna have to watch the replay. Cause listen, y'all know I don't get lost. That's not my thing. I don't get lost at all. I didn't get lost, but she sure caught me off to the side between create a strategic experience and whatever it was she said yet next about brand recognition. Because I got stuck on create a strategic experience. That's something that I don't think people spend enough time intentionally strategizing and experience for their customers and their clients. You know what I mean? Especially if you're going through a restructurization of your brand, or even in the first development of your brand, you're not taking the time to create a strategic experience, a journey. What is it going to look like, feel like, taste like, smell like, everything to encounter your company, It's one of the things that Joy and I have started to, Joy looking at me crazy. It's one of the things that Joy and I have started to try to be very specific about, like even when we invited you on, we wanted to make sure one of the things that we do is we make sure people have cups and glasses when they join us. So if you're going to join us, you got to have something to put in the cup. And that's part of the
I left my cup in the other room, but it is
so
good. It's
I was going to say,
delicious.
how is it? It's very delicious. I love it. But that's part of that strategic experience, that when people encounter your business, it's not something that they encounter by happenstance, but it's what you have decided their entire experience is going to act like, look like, feel like when they come in contact with your brand. That, ooh, Jesus. Okay. And then whatever you said after that, I can't even.
I can tell you what she said after that.
What she said,
She went down the line of being a part of the community in that strategic experience when you align with the community needs of. So that's why I'm like, I'm just out, because Barry is cutting my throat right now. She's just dicing me all up everywhere.
So yes, and then last but not least, but if you're experiencing rapid growth, then you want to have someone that's going to manage your brand. This is where you want to just deliver high impact, performance-based campaigns for public relations discipline. So essentially, we create just brand strategy initiatives to increase your visibility while fostering long-term relationships with the media, key influencers, and consumers. So if you're experiencing rapid growth, then you need someone to monetize off of your moment. So
yes. Oh Lord. Sha-la-la-da-da-da. Monetize off of your moment. That's, ooh, girl. Joy, fan me. Don't fan yourself. Fan me.
Blow my head up right now.
You do, but it's so, because one of the reasons we're so hyped up about that word specifically, because that's something that we were looking for so long. It's something that we spent months understanding, like, and it's one of the things we talked about when I spoke to you, and I was like, we've got these videos that we do every single week, and we've got all of this content, and we're having all of these moments that we know we're not taking advantage of, and we're not monetizing these moments because we don't have the strategic person in place to be able to help us down that road, because it's up to us. Sorry, I got excited. What people don't realize is what people don't realize is when you're in the space of having the moment, it is 100 times more. It's 100 times more overwhelming for you to also have to be the person to monetize the moment, because you're engaged in the moment. You're producing the moment. So for you to produce the moment and then have to turn around and transition the moment, monetize the moment, transcribe the moment, recreate the moment, present the moment, and then distribute the moment, design the moment, like everything, that is more than you can ask of your average person or entrepreneur, or even your most dynamic people and entrepreneurs, you know? And so it's so important that you have the person or the people around you or with you to help you monetize your moments. God, Lord, Jesus, Sharice, tell her, Sharice, Jesus, Father in heaven, Jesus.
It's so important. It's so important, because when you monetize your moment, then now we go back to that word leverage. You're able to consistently create a revolving door of opportunities for yourself, and it's as you're closing deals, now bam, now that's more press, because now you got another deal. And now if you guys start creating products, now bam, that's another press distribution. Now that's some more media attraction. Now bam, an influencer starts using your product. Now bam, that's some more media attention. That's more interviews that you get to have. And now bam, you secure another partnership. Like, it's just, that's when you start monetizing. And you have to have someone in place that can create targeted content and help you drive lead acquisitions that you can leverage. And of course, curate those experiences. What that mean?
You said you need to have someone. We were pointing to you.
Oh, man. Yeah, you need somebody very dynamic.
You need somebody very dynamic. Very dynamic.
Yes. I was like, who we pointing at?
We pointing at very dynamic. That's who we pointing at.
We pointing at very dynamic.
You need that somebody. Look. Does she have a class? Barry, do you have classes? Do you have you want to come on and drop your course over on the Brilliant Institute?
That's right.
So
yes, ma'am.
And we cut you a check so that when people take your class, we
Please
just go ahead.
understand.
Look, the affiliate.
I'm
Been doing that.
gonna just say
affiliate.
it like this. Understand that this is going to, in some way, shape, or form, turn into a class. You and I can have the conversation about what your percentage rate is, what you are demanding
We gonna
as
get the
your
book
percentage
and
rate.
make sure
Yeah.
that it's all
And then we'll
right.
just take care of that on the back end, because
You know.
boy, woo,
Child.
Yes, and
Look.
I
that's
thought I
really
was ready,
why.
Joy. I thought I was ready, Joy.
You did
I
this
thought I
mess
was
right
ready.
here. I'm just look.
I thought I
want
was
to take off
ready.
this jacket.
Y'all
Like,
say
oh my
the best for
God.
last was the best for last. I know I'm the last interview.
Listen, I thought I was ready. I wasn't ready.
So we talking about leveraging. You know, this is so Barry, if you can, outside of, as long as it's not under NDA,
Mm-hmm.
tell us 2 clients.
2 clients I'm currently working with or have
Or
worked.
past, either or.
So, actually, I'm working with Iconic Television. That's one of our clients, Miss Julia Davis. She is actually the youngest in the nation to own a television station, and not the youngest African American woman, not the youngest woman, the youngest person. And so we've been able to really strategize a way to build the brand by leveraging award shows and really nominating business influencers within the Houston realm. And whether it's political, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, educators, I mean, you name it. We have entertainers, like we have like 25 to 30 categories, and people nominate. We get them engaged by nominating these different individuals to be a part of this award show. It happens every year in February, and literally no less than 300 people come out because we built the momentum and we strategize on how these people are going to be honored. And although we're honoring people, it's driving traffic right back to the station. And now, bam, you got all those people that want to see themselves on television, or they want to, get ads or have their own television station. It's all a way to market the television station by honoring other people within the community who are doing something that actually needs to be highlighted within the community. And it's all an idea based off of this client, Julia Davis, who has just a heart for just showcasing talent and influencers around the industry. Yes, ma'am.
So you don't have to give any more. You don't have to give another client. I need the Southern Entertainment Awards to understand and contact Very Dynamic. I need Power Move Awards to contact Very Dynamic. Y'all want to be on TV, and we're talking. And this is the other side of the importance of collaboration, people.
Mm-hmm.
It's the not just leverage. It's about leveraging. But when you collaborate, you're leveraged in the right way. But that's a whole nother topic. But
it sure is.
I'm going to say it again. Power Moves Awards. Y'all need to talk to Barry Dynamic. And Southern Entertainment Awards. Y'all need to talk to Barry Dynamic. Mm-hmm. And it's all about those kind of things.
Public relations. It's exactly what the word means. It's a relationship with the public. It's not about this brand being the forefront. It's about the collaborations that they're able to make in order to have a larger, higher impact.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So look, we're gonna have Barry Dynamics affiliate link down on our website somewhere. And
listen, we just gonna try to
Barry gonna do some classes for us. We just gonna name that, claim that, name that, claim that.
We are proposing, Joy. What? Joy, you and I have to go out and find a ring. We are proposing. I know, right? Very dynamic. I don't know if you got somebody or not, but listen. Listen. When y'all see, that's what I was gonna say. When y'all see the video go viral, don't say nothing. Y'all already knew it was coming. Like for real.
The other one, for Ione and Avia, we had our last guest. Mm-hmm. Our last guest is now in O Magazine.
That's right.
Well, congratulations.
We know. Yeah. Look who we know. I can say I know John Saunders.
That's right.
I'm just saying, same last name, no relation. I know.
So listen, when y'all are ready to make your brand dynamic, very dynamic, please
very.
reach out to Miss Berry Dynamic at launch@berrydynamicagency.com. You can reach her there. You can find the Berry Dynamic Agency on Facebook, on Instagram, and everywhere that these books are sold, everywhere. Just find her, please.
Right?
It's totally worth it. I knew from the moment. So just so y'all know, I stumbled upon this woman on Facebook. I don't even remember who said something about whatever they was talking about, but I stumbled upon her on Facebook. I saw her information. I reached out to her. She responded back. We got on the phone one day and I instantly knew this was somebody who was not only unbelievably valuable, but was one of us.
Right.
So
thank you.
I am so thankful that you joined us, and I'm so thankful that you had the time to be able to chat with us. I gotta watch this replay like 3 or 4 times, man. Because
I was so busy trying to not burn in hell that I couldn't even use my kids.
Joy got some answers. She got some questions she got to answer coming up, boy.
She walked through the omnipresence and the whole week. Look, and the birthing out of birth out of the storm.
Man, crafting a strategic experience and leveraging your brand for publicity and leveraging your expertise for trending topics and everything. She even broke down the difference between Facebook and Instagram. Come on, y'all. If y'all gonna watch this replay, watch it fast because I don't know how long this one's gonna sit up. Y'all gonna have to join the elite circle to see this one. Because
I like that, the elite circle.
That's right. Y'all gonna have to join the elite circle for this one because this is dope.
Well, Berry, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. For being all of your personality.
Yes.
And for having all of your wisdom and knowledge. And I really, really appreciate you for trusting your faith and stepping out there and being you.
Hey, I'm just a
because if you had stayed where you were, we wouldn't be here today.
I know that's right.
Baby, now you're preaching. I think about that all the time. I was praying the other day. I said, God, you have put these people in my life that I would have never imagined.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Never imagined. So I'm so grateful. I'm just the messenger. And if I can leave anybody with anything else, my last words will be that proper planning prevents poor performance.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
I can't even find my camera now.
Listen, if y'all have not taken the time to see Miss Berry Dynamic with the long blonde hair, she cut up for real. I see the pictures of the hair with the hat. Listen, I done seen it. She cut up for real. Y'all don't understand. But no, for real, I appreciate you coming on and I appreciate you being fully yourself because I would have expected nothing else. And I can't wait till we can do this again. And we don't even got to invite them next time. It could just be the three of us.
Like, with our glasses.
We can head to Houston and make this thing work.
Look, I'll be there in December. Actually, I might be there Thanksgiving time frame, but I'll be there in December for the whole month.
I would love to connect.
Yes, we are going to do that with our mask on and chopping people that's not going to do. I'm sorry, I tell you about
y'all see my saltiness. You go text me.
If you had an iPhone, I'd FaceTime you. But
whatever. See that's the cut. That means it's time for us to go. We will catch.
To come to Florida.
There you go. Listen, always listen. You come on to Orlando now. We go listen. Anyway. So thank you so much. And we'll catch y'all next week. Y'all be good. If you are not a member of the Elite Circle, go to eonianavia.com/join. Join the Elite Circle, become Premier Plus, and we will catch y'all on Monday.
See y'all. Thank you, Barry.